Hi friends, today let's talk about the 5 main reasons why people get denied for asylum in the United States, why they get ordered deported for denial based on filing for asylum to United States. Marina Shepelsky is my name. I am the chief attorney of Shepelsky Law Group, practicing immigration law over 22 years in the States. And my experience and my knowledge is here for you guys to explain why people get denied for asylum when it's so commonly filed. One of the main reasons why people want to legalize in the US, but so rarely granted. Why is this so rarely approved? We are here to talk about. Hit the like button, share this video, and become a subscriber. So let's get right into it. The number one very common reasons why people get denied for asylum is they miss the 1-year filing deadline. You arrive to the US and you're supposed to file for asylum, saying you are afraid to return to your home country within 1 year. Generally speaking, asylum is when you're afraid to go to your country, afraid to return, but you fit into the 5 protected categories, and that's race, nationality, political opinion, social group, or religion. Like, in other words, you were abused in your home country, and you can tie why you're afraid to being in one of those 5 categories. So a lot of people come here and they don't file in time for various reasons, and sometimes those can be forgiven. There's exceptions to this, like exceptional circumstances, change in circumstances. Something changed, so you didn't file then because there was no reason to fear then, but there is a reason to fear now. Or your attorney messed you up. A mistake by an attorney also can be a reason to miss that one deadline, but the deadline for the 1 year is very strict, and a lot of courts will not even examine your case. They will just deny based on the fact that you filed too late. Next, it's called lack of credibility. Bad credibility means you didn't seem truthful. You seemed to the judge or to the officer who interviewed you at the asylum office like a liar. How do they think you're a liar? They say you had inconsistent testimony. In other words, you said one thing in your application, then you said another thing in your story, and maybe something else at the interview. False documents. They can prove that your documents are not real, or you messed up when you talked about them. They're false. They're fake documents. Or you had contradictions in your story, and they just don't think that you are being honest. They just have a feeling based on how you acted, plus the mistakes you made and contradictions, inconsistencies, that you are not credible. So that is a very, very common reason for denial. If you filed in time and there was no issue with the 1 year deadline, this is the most common reason why people get denied. Lack of credibility. They don't believe you. Next, you couldn't prove that you were persecuted or abused based on one of those 5 grounds I named. So yes, maybe you were abused. You had some problems in your home country, but you couldn't prove that it was tied to your race, your religion, your nationality, your social group, like you were LGBTQ. You couldn't prove that it was connected. It's called no nexus, no connection between you being in that category and what happened to you. Whatever happened to you, it doesn't mean that it didn't happen to you, but it doesn't mean that legally the judge will give you asylum, because you couldn't prove you were of a certain religion, or because the abuse happened because you were of that religion, for example. Okay, the 4th reason is that you had a firm resettlement in another 3rd country before you came to the US. Like, for example, I'm talking to a lot of Ukrainian people right now. They escaped Ukraine, but before coming to the States, they lived in Germany for 9 months. They lived in Poland for 5 months. They lived in Italy for a year and a half. In other words, they had already roots in another country, but the question for the court becomes, was you're living in that third country considered like a permanent firm resettlement, and then you just decided, hey, life in America is better, I'm going to go to America. They don't want you shopping for countries when you're filing for asylum. Asylum can be denied if they felt you were just shopping for a better place to live when you already put down roots and firmly resettled in the third country. And the final reason, and believe it or not, it's pretty frequent that we see in our practice, because we practice asylum in all the 50 states every day, is that certain crimes or certain security reasons can be a reason for denial of asylum. Also, immoral behavior, things that you've done maybe weren't exactly criminal, they didn't rise to the level of criminal act, but they were just not moral. And certain crimes are very serious for the courts here, even if they are like a misdemeanor at the state level or like a small thing in your home country. For example, driving while intoxicated. Drunk driving is a big problem for many courts, and sometimes it's not even like a criminal conviction in certain places, but in US it is, and the judges are really very much against drunk drivers. So another thing now under Trump will be a security reason for denial. Like if you posted in support of Palestine, for example, and they find it on your social media, that could be a main reason for denial. So those are the reasons why people fail at asylum. They get denied and often get a deportation order of removal. We are here to help you avoid that situation. Share this video, become a subscriber, and give us a call today to begin your own asylum journey or take over for another lawyer if they already started it and you don't feel good about that representation. We are here to help. Give us a call and schedule a consultation today.